New York Giants at 11 have the pick. They need an edge rusher. I think out of all of the edge rushers, it's interesting because there's been a lot of hype. Like the hype changes between who you think is going to be there. Kuti Pai, I think, has been the like hypest pass rusher. I think he's the most complete pass rusher. And so I think the Giants go with a sure thing in him, and they need edge rush a lot. That's the only thing that they really didn't upgrade at all this offseason. They upgraded their wide receivers, they upgraded their tight end. Their offensive line is still not bad. They upgraded the secondary. What do they need? They need edge rush bad. And so what do? They go out and get an edge rusher right here who they think, and I think, might be the best pick. I don't know if he's the most talented or the one that has the biggest upside, I would say, but I do think that you go with the sure thing, and that's what they do here.
Okay.
Now, our second
Yeah, tell me
trade.
what I really care about.
I know, I know you're looking at this. Second trade, I think that the Bears trade with the 49ers. Now, the 49ers have the 12th pick. I don't think that the 49ers are so high on Mac Jones that they make him their starter or make him their quarterback that they're going to pick. That because the problem with the 49ers is that they need to pick a quarterback that is going to come in and compete with a guy that they're already paying $25 million a year for. The problem with that is if you don't think that Mac Jones is that guy that it's going to compete with a quarterback and maybe be better than him, then you're wasting a pick. Otherwise, you could maximize that pick by making a trade. Now, there are other needs too. I think they could address somewhat later on in the draft. So I think the Bears, who we've just watched them be desperate, they were already trying to get rid of Nick Foles. And what does it tell me that they're getting rid of Nick or trying to get rid of Nick Foles? It tells me that they are open to somebody becoming their QB2 and maybe even their future QB1. And I think that's the draft. I think that's where they're looking ultimately at
Yep.
the end of the day. So makes sense to me. The 49ers are able to trade down. They get the 20th pick. And actually, I think if you scroll up, you can see my trades. Yeah, so you can see the trades. So it's the 12th pick, which they select Mac Jones with. The 49ers get the 20th pick, the sixth round, the second to last sixth round pick, 221 for us. And because we have like 3 or 4 of them. And then they get a future second.
Do you think that's all it would take? Oh my God.
Yeah, because you're only moving up 8 spots.
A
You
lot
get
of
a future second
spots.
too. Huh?
That's a lot of spots.
Yeah, but like when I maybe it's more, maybe it takes a future second and a future fourth or something like that along with a sixth, or maybe the
Yeah.
sixth is a higher pick and maybe it's a fourth round pick and instead they get a future second and a fourth round pick this year. To me, sixth and a future second fit the most for only moving up 8 spots,
Yeah.
especially when all the quarterbacks are off the board. So if the deal doesn't make sense, like, I think it's one of those where the 49ers, all the quarterbacks off the board that have the highest potential. So then Mac Jones is sitting there with, I think Mac Jones is a really good quarterback, and I think he would be a great fit for the Bears because I think he's the most NFL ready quarterback now, or out of the bottom three. I think Zach Wilson, obviously, and Trevor Lawrence, who are taking 1 and 2, are better than him at this very moment. But I think Mac Jones is the better quarterback, more ready quarterback than Justin Fields or Trey Lance, despite having a lower ceiling. So I think that he's a good fit for the Bears because I think he can come in. What he does really well is he reads defenses really well. He makes good decisions. That mitigates a lot of problems that you're going to have that you've been watching basically for 4 years with Mitch Trubisky, who can't read a defense well and who can't eliminate those decisions. So yeah, Mac Jones's arm strength's not going to blow you off he's not going to blow you away. His accuracy is not going to blow you away. His unbelievable playmaking is not going to blow you away. He doesn't have that. But what he does have is he can make something happen. He can run your offense very well, and he will not make those dumb mistakes that you see that quarterbacks do or fall into because he can read a defense and he can make smart decisions. And it's
I
right.
agree.
And I
Post
think
reading the
one of
tape.
the huh?
Post reading the tape for so long, I'm inclined to agree with you.
Yeah. And I think one of the most interesting comps that I've seen for him to the NFL is honestly a Tom Brady. Yeah, do I think obviously, do I think we're getting Tom Brady in this pick? No, but it makes it's to me, it's the most comp-wise sensible comparison because if you take away Brady's championships and his, just him being Brady, you look at Brady, he's a quarterback that doesn't have a spectacular arm strength. He makes a lot of great decisions with the ball. He reads defenses very well. He's not very athletic, but he can still make things happen. He was at least a little bit when he was younger. That's Mac Jones. That's so I think the trade makes sense. The Bears get a quarterback, hopefully for the future to build upon, or potentially even start over Andy Dalton at some point. And the 49ers get a couple picks and cash in on a pick that I think it's one of those where the 49ers, some of their needs were a little too they were already taken as far as quarterback and such. So it makes sense for them to trade down, accumulate more picks, and still be able to address a need later on. So,
I'm excited.
and then
Go
and then
for it.
kind of yeah, exactly. And then kind of a shocker here, and I don't think he's going to fall this far. I don't know where he'll go. It's just in my draft, the way that I drafted it he falls this far, and the Chargers literally he falls in their lap, and they don't even know what to do with it. So, I mean, if he fell this far, I can tell you that the Chargers are sprinting to the podium to make this pick. Like it's unbelievably the perfect pick for them to get Panay Sewell to fall to 13 and then not have to trade up to make it happen.
Yeah.
But it's just unfortunate. That's the way the cookie crumbled in my draft. It's just nobody ahead needed a left tackle that badly as opposed to the Chargers. I mean, yeah, you could argue, maybe the Giants, but the Giants needed edge rush desperately, so they got the best edge rusher. Like it's the way it went.
Yeah.
Then you can talk about the Minnesota Vikings. Maybe they trade up, but I think the Minnesota Vikings. I think ultimately they don't have enough to trade up, or they don't want to trade up, so they stay put. So that's just kind of how I felt. Panay Sewell, the best offensive tackle, and one of the other surefire, him and Kyle Pitts are the two guys I feel the most confident being superstars in the league. Those are the two that, and so getting the best tackle, a left tackle who could be, a Joe Thomas for your next 10 years is fantastic. And the Chargers are absolutely ecstatic to get him at 13, falling to protect their guy in Justin Herbert.
And who's this?
So Elijah Vera Tucker is the guy that I thought the Bears would take at 20 in my last mock. And the reason why is because he is a guard tackle hybrid where he can kind of play either position. So I thought for the Bears it would be great because he can kind of play either position, so they can kind of put him at either position. But here were the Vikings, they really need guard help or inside help. So they get Elijah Vera Tucker, who I think is the best inside offensive lineman in the draft. So that's who they just go with. It's fitting, it's a perfect need. They don't make a trade up to get Panay Sewell, so they get the next best thing that they can, which is inside help and for Elijah Vera Tucker.
Okay.
Now we go to the Patriots. The Patriots, I really took a while for me to figure out what they could potentially do. They need so yeah, they did. Okay, so here's where I'll start with this. They got Dante Hightower back. Yes, he is aging though, and when his contract expires, it's not like Bill Belichick's probably going to extend him. You also have Van Noy coming over. Van Noy does a lot in the edge as well, so he's more of an edge type guy, an outside linebacker. So then you bring in Roquan or not Roquan,
Oh
Raekwon
God.
McMillan. Yeah, shut up. You bring over Raekwon McMillan, who's a talented linebacker, but if you're not 100% sure that he'll be able to fill in as the starting middle linebacker next to Dante Hightower or taking over for Dante Hightower, well, then what do? You go and draft the guy who won the best linebacker award in the league. Now, you might say, why did Micah Parsons not win it, who got drafted top 10? Well, Micah Parsons took off last year, so that's why he didn't play. So that's why he wasn't up for that award. But the next best linebacker who did win that award is Jeremiah here, who is a great coverage linebacker. So, which Dante Hightower isn't really. So, you would fit a perfect need right there at linebacker. And Bill Belichick loves his linebackers. So, I think this is perfect because I think this is the guy for the Patriots to meld into what they need him to be. And the Patriots are very known for drafting not only needs, but drafting like certain players to pick to be certain things. And this is the kind of thing that they would do to get a cover linebacker.
And then
Then we scroll down, we have the Cardinals picking JC Horn. JC Horn I took ahead of Caleb Farley. Caleb Farley, I think, might be the better corner, but JC Horn just had an incredible pro day that turned a lot of heads. He's 6 foot tall, so he fits the build for a number one corner, but he also ran like a 4.3940, which is absurd. He also had an incredible vertical, an incredible broad jump. He has great length. He just is a very, very talented corner who very well could be a superstar in this league. And so I think the hype is too real, and I think that's who the Cardinals end up going for here. They need secondary help. I think they addressed some help with JJ Watt and kind of their pass rush. I don't think that they go pass rush here. I think they go corner because that's what they need. So I think JC Horn fits the bill right there for 'em. Las Vegas Raiders, I think they need off. They just got rid of Trent Brown at right tackle. So I think what they do is they go and get the best right tackle in the draft, which is Tevin Jenkins out of Oklahoma State. Massive dude, super talented. He'll be a great right tackle for them on that side of the line for a long time. So I think that's a great signing for them, especially because it seems like they're going to make Derek Carr, they're going to make it work with Derek Carr, give him another offensive lineman to help protect him. And you drafted Andrew Ruggs last year. You're signing wide receivers. Give him right tackle, right tackle to replace Trent Brown. And I think Tevin Jenkins does a great job for that. So then we move on to the Dolphins. Jalen Phillips. I think he's getting a lot of hype as one of the better pass rushers in the league. I think he has a high potential. At 6'5", 260, very, very much the build of an edge rusher that you like. I think the Dolphins at 18, who really need an edge rusher, this is a great pickup for them because I think they get a guy who has a lot of upside, who only falls to this position because I think that he has only recently gotten a lot of hype. So I think they just get lucky here with that.
gotcha.
Next, next we go to the Washington, apparently.
I
Um,
saw that.
I don't even know why that's the way it is, but the Washington football team, they need a tackle. They need offensive line help. They need to protect whatever quarterback, Heineke, Fitzgerald, whatever they're putting out there. They need a tackle, so they go and get Rashawn Slater, who I think is the next best tackle in the league or in this draft. And again, that helps to fill a needed offensive line. Then we got the 49ers. Caleb Farley, I talked about how he might be better than JC Horn, but I think JC Horn's hype is too real for Caleb Farley to overcome, so that's why he ends up here. But the 49ers, who just traded down from the Bears, need cornerback help. They get one of the top three corners in either Patrick Surtain, JC Horn, or Caleb Farley. Those top three corners are really good, and there's not a lot of difference between them. So getting Caleb Farley, who I think could even go 8 to the Cowboys if the Cowboys like him more. It's a great pickup for them at 20 because they're able to trade down, accumulate picks, and still fill a great need that they have.